Hi everyone, welcome to Vedantu NEET English. I'm Diksha Kaushal, your chemistry master teacher, and today we are going to revise physical chemistry formulas. So let us start with some basic concepts of chemistry. First we have moles. Number of moles will be calculated by three methods. First is given mass divided by molar mass. Second is number of particles divided by Avogadro's number, that is 6.022 into 10 raised to power 23. Third is given volume by molar volume, and the molar volume will be 22.4, that is fixed for 1 atmospheric pressure, and if the pressure is 1 baric, that will be 22.7. Next we have mole fraction. If you have the number of components are 2, right, and you want to calculate the mole fraction for first component, that will be number of moles of first component divided by number of moles of first and number of moles of second. And if you want to calculate the whole, the thing is, if you have 5 components in a mixture, the mole fraction of all the 5 components will be 1. If you have 2 components, the mole fraction of all the 2 components will be 1. If you have infinite number of components, the mole fraction of those all molecules will be, those all components will be equals to unity, that is 1. Next is molality. Molality is number of solute, number of moles of solute divided by mass of solvent, and this is very important, that will be in kilograms. And if you want to calculate molarity, this is molarity, that was molality, this is molarity. This is number of moles of solute divided by volume of solution in liters. Okay, always remember this is in liters and that is in kilograms, not grams, not milliliters, kilograms and liters. Next is how to calculate if you have molality and you need to calculate molarity. If you have molarity and you need to calculate molality, this is the formula where D is the density, W is the weight, and M is the molarity, and small m is the molality. Right? Next is percentage. If you want to calculate the percentage, right? So that will be, you need to decode these lines, okay, 10% of this much solution, right? So how to decode that? You have percentage solute by solution into 1000. Because this is percent, so always multiply this by 100, always multiply this by 100. If you want to calculate the ppm, that will then in place of 100 you will write, for ppm, I am writing it here. For ppm, in place of 100, you will write 10 raised to power 6. That's the only difference between ppm and percent, right? Okay. So for percent, if you have W by W percent, that is weight by weight. On the above, that will be solute divided by solution. Always, if weight by weight, that will be weight of solute divided by weight of solution into 100. If you have weight by volume, that will be weight of solute divided by volume of solution. If you have V by V, that means volume of solute divided by volume of solution. Always it will be solute divided by solution into 100 for percentage, solute divided by solution into 10 raised to power 6 for ppm, right? Okay, so here the mass will be in grams and the volume will be in milliliters. No, that was not the case of molarity and molality. Always remember the units here. Next is limiting reagents. If you want to calculate the limiting reagent, a very simple basic thing is just balance the equation, whatever equation will be provided to you. After that, the equation we will say these are the stoichiometry coefficient. These are the stoichiometry coefficient. So you will be given some moles, right? This will be given in the question. So divide given by stoichiometric coefficient. You will divide this given, that is 2 divided by stoichiometric coefficient, that is 1. You will divide this given, that is 9 divided by stoichiometric coefficient, that is 3. Here the smaller value will be the limiting reagent, so that is 2 by 1. Here the value is 2 and here the value is 3, so this is the smaller value. That is why this is the limiting reagent. N2 is the limiting reagent in this reaction. Okay, so next is vapor density. Vapor density is nothing but this is density of gas divided by density of hydrogen gas. This is the given gas, and that is also equals to mass, molar mass of gas divided by molar mass of hydrogen. And in a short manner we write it molar mass equals to 2 into vapor density, right? So these can also be asked indirectly. Next is molarity of mixing. If you mix 2 solutions, that will be M1 V1 equals to M2 V2. Next we have, as the number of moles will be same, that is why we have written N1V1 is equals to M2V2. Next is percentage of element in the component. So percentage of element, that particular element, suppose you have CaCO3, the percentage of carbon in that CaCO3 will be the mass of that element, whatever mass you are, whatever element you want to check the percentage of, and the molar mass of that compound into 100, because this is, we are calculating the percentage here. And N is equals to nothing but this is suppose we have to calculate molar mass and empirical formula, molecular formula, molar mass, empirical mass. Everything will be connected to this particular thing. This N is not number of moles. This N is equals to molar mass divided by empirical mass. And if you want to calculate molecular formula, that will be equals to empirical formula divided by N. What is empirical formula? It is the simple whole number ratio of that formula, right? Next we have N factor. Everywhere N defined different things. Here N was different, here N was different, here N was different, and here N is different. Okay, this is N factor. That means for elements it will be valency, for salts it will be cationic or anionic charge, for acid it will be number of H positive ions given, and for base it will be number of H positive ion gained by that base, right? So for normality, if you want to calculate normality, is equals to N factor into molarity, and also number of gram equivalents. Okay, normality is not directly in your syllabus. This can be asked through this formula. And number of gram equivalent is equals to N factor into number of moles. Understood, everyone? So this was about some basic concepts of chemistry. Now second chapter is structure of atom. Let us understand few very, very important formulas of structure of atom. So the first is, this is X, this is Z, this is A. This is the symbol of that element. So this A symbolizes mass number, that is equals to number of neutrons plus number of protons, and this Z symbolizes atomic number, that is number of protons or number of electrons in a neutral atom, not ionized. In a neutral atom, number of electrons will be the atomic number, right? After that you have this formula. This is the formula. This is H mu is equals to H mu naught plus half mv square, where half mv square, this is photoelectric effect, right? Half mv square is the maximum kinetic energy, and this H mu is the work function or threshold frequency. These can be directly asked in the question, right? And this is half mv square. This half mv square is equals to EVS, where Vs is the stopping potential, right? Next we have, these are the formula for EM ways to calculate the energy, wavelength, frequency, time period, everything, wave number. Now we have E is equals to H mu is equals to Hc by lambda, where mu is frequency, lambda is wavelength, C is the speed of light, H is Planck's constant, then T is the time period, so mu is equals to 1 by T. This mu dash is wave number is equals to 1 by lambda, and also mu is equals to C by lambda. These are the formulas that can be applied in a big question, that in a very complicated question, sometimes there are these kind of formulas also, right? So next is de Broglie. For de Broglie's wavelengths, these are for matter waves. This is lambda is equals to H by mv. Very, very important formula, very important formula. Next we have Bohr's model. These are the formulas of Bohr's model. We have to learn all these formulas, where n is equals to the energy level, so mvr is equals to nh by 2 pi. Then energy of the particular orbit will be minus 13.6 z square by n square, where z is the atomic number. Then we have Rn, that is radius. For that, n square a naught by z, where a naught is 0.529 in angstroms. For Vn, that is velocity, that will be 2.18. Velocity for that particular orbit, that will be 2.18 into 10 raised by 8 z by n centimeter per second square per second. So now this is frequency. Frequency, you don't need to cram the formula here. Just simply frequency is directly proportional to z square and inversely proportional to n cube, right? Next we have for spectral lines. Now see, this is R is Rydberg's constant. This is not anything. This is not gas constant. This is Rydberg's constant, right? So we have 1 by lambda is equals to z r z square 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square, where n1 is lower energy, right? N2 is higher energy orbit. Okay. Now next we have these 5 series, that is Lyman, Balmer, Paschen, bracket P fund. For Lyman, the n1 is fixed for everything here. For Lyman, n1 is equals to 1. This is lies in UV region. For Balmer, it lies in visible region. Paschen, bracket and P fund lies in IR region. They can directly ask in the question that one particular wavelength that lie in visible region. So for that means they are saying N1 is equals to 2. So we'll put the N1 is equals to 2 in this formula, and you have to calculate N2, or you have to calculate the lambda here, right? So next we have, okay, so this is also left. So number of spectral line is equals to n minus 1 divided by 2. Next we have quantum numbers. Quantum numbers, there are few formulas. This is number of orbitals in shell is n square. This n, l, m, everything symbolizes the principal quantum number, all the 4 quantum numbers: azimuthal quantum number, magnetic quantum number, spin quantum number, right? So n is equals to, this is n square, that means principal quantum number square. This is 2n square. Orbital angular momentum is equals to l plus 1 by 2 pi h. That is azimuthal. L is azimuthal quantum number. So spin momentum will be n plus 2 divided by 2 pi h. That is according to principal quantum number. So here we have maximum number of orbits in a subshell. Maximum number of orbits. So in an orbit we have 2 electrons, so that will be again multiplied by 2 only, right? So we have number of radial nodes, number of angular nodes, or total number of nodes, that is n minus 1. These are the total number of nodes. They can be directly asked in the question. N and L are again principal and azimuthal quantum number. Next, the chapter is equilibrium. So let us start this with this chapter. For equilibrium, you have this equation, very easy chapter, very simple, very easy, yet students find it very difficult. All you just need to do is practice, practice and practice, right? So you have this equation according to law of mass action. This K equilibrium will equals to product divided by reactants raised to the power the stoichiometric coefficient. Then the active masses, maybe in aqueous medium, you will take the active masses. This will be the concentration, that is molarity. And for gases, these things will be the pressure, right? So next is concentration of pure solid is always taken as 1, very important. Now K equilibrium is also equals to K of forward reaction divided by K of backward reaction. That is how we got this particular law. Next is Kp is equals to Kc. So we have Kp and Kc. Kc in concentration, Kp is pressure terms. So Kp is equals to Kc RT delta Ng. Delta Ng is the number of products minus number of reactants of gaseous moles. Only gaseous moles will be taken here. Next we have the values of R. You have these 4 values of R. According to the question, you will apply the value of R in that question. Now we have pH. pH is equals to, pH and concentration are related to each other in this way. pOH and concentration of OH are related to each other in this way. Next we have this A, B plus C. So now this is ionic equilibrium. For ionic equilibrium, you have time t or C0, 0. At time t, this alpha is the degree of dissociation, and this is the dissociation constant, right? So for the dissociation constant, formula will be products divided by reactants, and we have this formula, right? We can also ignore the alpha here, and that can also be written as C alpha square. Next we have this Kw. Kw will always be equals to, this is for water, this will be equals to minus 14, and this is equals to H positive into OH negative concentration. Next we have for weak acid. For weak acid, again in the similar way, you have this weak acid that is not properly, this is partially dissociated. So in this case, C alpha square 1 minus alpha. In this case, all the 3 values, you have to learn these values. These are also according to the question itself. When we will solve the numericals, we will study this in detail, right? Do not cram the formulas as it is. These formulas are just for this particular reaction. For this, that depends which kind of compound you are given, right? Next is solubility product. Here also I have generalized this formula. You have this general formula. This is AXBY. This is the solid that is getting dissociated, and the formula of KSP, that is solubility product, a very important and frequently asked question. That is the formula is this, and for KSP also the formula can be this in terms of solubility. This is solubility. Okay, this is solubility, right? This is solubility product. Now next we have, if we reverse the reaction or multiply it or add or subtract it, these are very simple. So you have this reaction where K is the rate constant here, equilibrium constant here, not rate constant in chemical kinetics, right? So this is the equilibrium constant. So if the reaction is reversed, if you want to reverse the reaction, that will be the K will also be reversed. That means 1 divided by initial K, right? If you multiply it by n can be half, n can be 2, n can be any value, right? If you multiply it by n, then just raised to the power n will occur here, right? After this, After this, if you add two reactions, if you have A plus B, you are adding this reaction to this reaction. That means you are making it A plus C, B plus D, right? In that case, just multiply these two equilibrium constants, and after that you have this C plus D. What you will do, you will subtract these two reactions, that is A minus C and B minus D. When you subtract this, just divide these two equilibrium constant. That's it. Okay, in this case reverse this, in this case multiply raised to the power the value that has been multiplied here, and here just multiply these two rate constant, and here divide these two rate constants, right? Okay, understood guys? So now we have last, that is thermodynamics. For thermodynamics, okay, I know you guys find it a little bit tough. Don't worry, when we'll do the proper lecture in one shot, we will cover everything, but right now it's just a revision session, so just focus on the formulas here. This is for isothermal. For isothermal, that is where temperature is constant, isobaric pressure is constant, isochoric volume is constant, adiabatic heat, there is no heat exchange, that means Q is constant, right? So for the formulas here are, this is internal energy dQ plus dW, this is first law. Also delta U equals to NCV delta T, delta H is equals to NCP. Very important, these three are very important reactions, very important equations. So usually in thermodynamics, question will be directly asked from the equations, or they might ask directly the equation, right? Not even numerical, just directly the equation. Okay, so this is Cp minus Cv equals to R. R is nothing but gas constant. So delta H is equals to delta U plus delta PV. Always remember these two are also in the delta. This is also not constant, this is also not constant. Either you can apply this formula or you can apply this formula. If you are given some chemical equation, you will apply this formula, right? Okay, that is delta Ng is nothing but number of gaseous moles of product minus number of gaseous mole of reactant. So delta H is also equals to NCP delta T, what we have done here also. Okay, this is the same thing, right? That now we have S, that is entropy. Entropy is equals to dQ for reversible divided by T. When we are talking about vaporization, the heat will be of vaporization divided by boiling point. When we are talking about fusion or melting, that the heat will be of melting and divided by temperature, melting point temperature. Okay, right? Now next we have, this is Gibbs free energy. Gibbs free energy is equals to delta H minus T delta S. Also this will be applied, the same thing will be applied in equilibrium as well. For spontaneous reaction, delta G is negative and delta S is always positive. And if we take the reaction of delta G and delta G naught, that is under standard condition, that is equals to delta G is equals to delta G naught plus 2.303 RT log 10 Q. Q is the reaction quotient when the equilibrium has not been achieved. That is not under equilibrium, right? So when the equilibrium has achieved, in that case delta G is equals to 0 and Q becomes KQ, and the reaction is delta G naught minus 3.30 RT log 10 KQ. So many questions have been asked from these only formulas, right? So then we have work. For work we have four, five formulas, so I am writing it down here. So for reversible reaction, in case of isothermal, you have this formula in terms of log V2 by V1. For reversible reaction, for isothermal, you have in case of when you are given the pressure, that will be P1 by P2. Here it was V2 by V1, right? That's been reversed because for isothermal, P is inversely proportional to volume. For irreversible reaction isothermal, minus P external delta T, and for isochoric and isobaric, that will be equals to 0. And as here volume is 0, as here pressure is 0. So this was all about, so guys, this was all about the formulas of class 11 physical chemistry, the chapters that are there in your NEET examination 2024. So now if you like this video, if you want to revise the formulas of class 12th physical chemistry as well, do write it in the comment section. All the very best for your exams. Take care, have a very nice day, and keep learning, keep smiling.